Okay, so I'd like to talk about sizing of your movie. So if you've obtained a DVD copy and made that digital, you will probably have something similar to this. So I highlighted my movie file and hit Control or Command I to bring up the information. And you can see the dimensions here are 853 by 362. This is around the standard DVD quality. If you got your movie either direct as digital or from a Blu-ray copy, you will have a higher quality than this. Blu-ray quality is somewhere around 720 or 1080 pixels in height. And so since the project that we're working on is going to be 1280 by 720, as you can see here in the background in Premiere, we want to scroll up or scale up our video so that it looks good in Premiere. So let's bring this video into Premiere here, and we'll drag it out onto the timeline, keep existing settings. And so as you see, you have these black bars around your movie. We don't want that. We want the movie to go all the way to the edges. So if we were to export the video right now, you'd have this little tiny video with all this black around it on your screen. So we don't want that. But let me step back here real quick. So when I bring this out onto the timeline, it gives me this option to change sequence settings or keep existing settings. We want to keep the existing settings because we've set this to the correct size of what we want, which is 1280 by 720. If I click change sequence settings, now our movie goes all the way to the edges, but if we look into sequence settings, we've got a width of 720 by 362, which is not what this project requires. We want a 1280 by 720 project. So I'm going to hit undo. Go back to my original sequence. So delete out this other sequence it made. So we drag it out here. We click keep existing settings. We see that our movie's too small. We select our movie in the timeline, and we go up to effect controls. Now if this isn't visible, say you're on a different tab, you can go to window, effect controls, and it'll bring it up. So with your video selected, click on motion, and you get these handles here at the edges of your video. And I find it helpful to go a little bit smaller with my framing, and then holding shift, I'll scale the video out. And there we go. So go back to fit. And so now our video is just as big as the area that we're working with. So you can select it again with the video selected in motion, and you can move it around. So since we're clipping off some of the edges, because the video itself is cinematic, it doesn't fit within our 16:9 formatting, and we can decide what section we want to look at, or if we just want it centered as it was. And you'll notice that it's a little pixelated, which is to be expected when you're taking something smaller and scaling it up to be bigger. But for this project, this is acceptable. And when we export the movie out of Premiere, we will have, I think the quality will be good enough for what we're doing here. Okay, so now we can take a look at our test render here in QuickTime. Bring the audio down and just scrub up through this. And so you can see the quality is not terrible, even at full screen. We've got a little bit of artifacting, a little bit of pixelation. It's a little soft, but for the sake of this project, I think that this will work to how we want it to work. All right, thanks.